the Novi Public Library Board of Trustees regular meeting. It is Thursday, August 23rd, 2018, and we're beginning right at 7 o'clock, calling it to order by myself, President Tara Mitchner. We will have the roll call by Secretary Bill Lawler.
Trustee Melissa Augusta.
Present.
Trustee William Lawler is here. Trustee Craig Messernick. Here. Trustee Tara Mitchner.
Present.
Trustee Doreen Kapar.
Present.
And Trustee Ramesh Verma is absent excused. Trustee Jeff Wood, absent excused. Student Representative Ravina Joshi.
Here.
And Student Representative Lahari Lalila.
Here.
Okay, thank you so much, Bill. Item number 3 is the Pledge of Allegiance, so if we can stand, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item 4 is approval and overview of agenda, and that's found in pages 1 through 3. Do I hear a motion?
I have a small adjustment. Number 10 should read 2018-19
Yes.
Library Board Goals, and then also Treasurer's Report for A and B. They both should read 2018-2019 since we're in our new year.
Very good. Thank you so much, Melissa, for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
Move that we accept it as changed or as amended.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good, thank you. 5, consent agenda. So we have A, approval of regular meeting minutes, and that's through July 26, 2018, from that meeting. And that can be found on pages 4 through 9 for reference point. B, approval of claims and warrants L569, and that can be found on pages 10 through 12 for reference point.
Move acceptance of the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Item number 6 is correspondence, and it looks like we have some.
We do. We have a number of correspondence I'm happy to go over. Starting on page 13, the first one is from Friday, July 20th. This is just a quick thank you, plus letting our staff, Kathleen Alberga, who's one of our youth librarians, letting her know that we had some additional money from a gift that was given to us by Seedlings Braille Books for Children, and they gave us a couple more books to add to the collection that are in Braille. That was from when we launched our renovation of our youth area, and they were part of that renovation just a couple months ago. So that's just a note of reference.
How much was the original grant? Do you know?
You know, it was just over 1,000. It was an odd number. It wasn't like an exact. So, but we got a number of books that were written, that were actually published in Braille for
Nice.
children. Both you could read, but also it had the Braille attached to it. So they can be used interchangeably by readers.
That's awesome.
At the bottom of page 13, this is a letter, and actually an apology letter to Mr. Yukiyama. He was a renter at the library, wanted you to see my correspondence with him. Unfortunately, we had a mistake happen at the library, and we didn't have his room set up in time. And then his follow-up is on page 14. He was very pleased to be working with us. He's a renter out of California, actually, that calls on the library about once a month, and he comes into town, and he's really enjoyed the space, and we would like to keep him happy, and all of our renters. So I just wanted you to see that correspondence. And just below that, from July 29th, is an email from Frank Katakamo. He's a longtime friend of the library and resident of Novi, and he had noticed our article in the Novi News and congratulating the library on the CUSAC and earning our essential level. And then you can see my response to both him and his wife Evelyn below. And then at the bottom of page 14, from August 8th, just a comment that came through from our rental. We use it's called a square, and that's how we charge the rentals. They can leave comments. So I wanted you to see that this was a comment that was left by one of our patrons on how happy he was that our meeting rooms are available and the process. Any questions?
No, but I think that's very good. I don't know that we probably have to apologize real frequently.
We don't.
But if it's appropriate, it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and I think you did it in a great way, and it sounds like it was met with a really welcome reception,
Yes,
too.
it was.
It makes us look good, so
Yes,
thank you for making us
Yes,
look
you're
good.
welcome.
Very often comments are negative.
Yes.
You know, and to have these comments all be positive, or to have a response that's so positive, is very fitting to reflect the library and its mission.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so item 7, presentation and special guests. We do not have any tonight.
We do not.
Okay, now we're at the point in our agenda for public comment. That's item 8. In order to hear all citizen comments at a reasonable hour, the library board requests that speakers respect the 5-minute time limit. This is not a question-and-answer session. Therefore, library board members will not respond to questions. It is an opportunity to voice your thoughts with the Novi Public Library Board of Trustees. Yes, please, welcome.
I always wanted to be a comedian. That's my next goal is to be a stand-up comedian, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to me. My name is Alan Bialik. I've been a Novi citizen for 25 years, and I'm a Vietnam veteran. My mission is to give back to my community by helping the next generation understand about our veterans, their sacrifices, and what good citizenship, leadership, and help them achieve their goals. Now, I use what I've learned in my life, and last year, with the city of Novi and myself, won the first ever Emmy Award. What drives me is my dad, who was disabled, my Uncle Ray, who spent 14 years in a military hospital, my best friend Ray, who died in Agent Orange, and all my brothers and sisters who gave so much for the freedoms that we have today. So I'm asking the board to support me and allow me a space one time a month at the library and advertise or list my program. I will leave a little brief with you so you can look at what I've been doing and explain my passions and how much time and energy that I put into it. Any guidance, any support, any feedback is very much welcome. I just want to give back. And as a veteran, thank you for the honor of serving you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was quick, wasn't it?
No.
Is that where I
Questions, okay.
So, thank you so much. I think it's okay to leave that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you,
Just
Al.
unfortunately, sticking to the written guidelines, it's not a question-and-answer session, so we can't do that right now, but we're so grateful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, so item 9, student representatives report.
So this is the July report. So for the July programs, the YouTube karaoke program took place on July 3rd. Attendees got to share their talent and have fun singing their favorite songs at the library. 18 people attended. The henna tattoo workshop took place on July 11th. Attendees got to create their own henna tattoos with artist Angel Shaw of Navy Styling while learning about this traditional art form. 22 people attended. The Tween Pizza and Pages Book Club took place on July 18th. Attendees read the book Lemons by Melissa Savage. The purpose of this book club is to encourage tweens to read and also allow tweens to practice for the Battle of Books program that the library holds annually. 14 people attended. The Phoenix Freerunning Academy program took place on July 25th. Attendees learned aspects of movement, specializing in parkour and freerunning. The purpose of this program was to teach participants parkour in a fun and safe manner. 32 people attended. For the Teen Space update, there was no Teen Space for the month of July, and there was also no Teen Advisory Board for the month of July.
Is your mic on? I'm so sorry.
Oh, now it is.
Okay, very good.
For the upcoming programs, the SAT 101 Everything You Need to Know will be held on September 11th. The first Teen Advisory Board meeting of the year will be held on September 21st. There will be an SAT practice test on September 22nd. There will be the ACT 101 Everything You Need to Know on September 25th, and the Tween Pizza and Pages Book Club on September 26th. And for the captions for the pictures, for the first one, YouTube karaoke participants singing a song. An attendee gets a henna tattoo at the henna tattoo workshop. For a third one, some members of the Tween Pizza and Pages Book Club. And the last one, participant in the Phoenix Free Running Academy program.
I'm probably the only one that doesn't know, but can you describe parkour for me?
I think it's basically where you can do like flips, like if you run up to a wall and like flip off. That's basically what it is.
Allow me to demonstrate, I'm just joking. Just joking. Extreme sports, yes, definitely.
See how we have many different opportunities at the library?
Yes.
Yeah, and I love that there was 30 kids there.
Right,
I mean,
right.
that's amazing. And I also am very impressed at how you guys just hit the ground running the first month of school. It's like, boom, there you go. And I love that.
Now, how do you advertise? Like, how will they know that everything you need to know about the SAT and the ACT is available?
I know that they post about it on the Facebook page, so they talk about it on the Teen Space Facebook page.
And then we also have an Engage, which just released this week. So every resident and business receives that. We look for these ladies also, word of mouth and with their friends and the Teen Advisory Board to also get out there and do some marketing. We're also able to put it in the high school's e-newsletter that goes out. And so, so my guess is it's been put in so far, we haven't heard yet, but yeah, so that'll be coming out with their welcome.
Do other local libraries offer the same kinds of services to their young patrons?
I think so. I think we have a more robust offerings, thanks to, what the kids have actually talked about wanting. But we're on par with what other libraries are doing, absolutely. But I do think we do some pretty unique things that come out of the brainstorming that happens with these amazing students. And before these ladies go, if I can take a minute to just wish them a great school year. They're going, the next time we come back, it's going to be September, and it'll be the end of September. They will have already started back to school. I know they're, hopefully will enjoy the next 2 weeks, because that's all they have left. I don't want to make them feel bad, but hopefully they'll enjoy these last few days, and we'll see you back once you start school. This is also your second year, right?
Yeah.
Both of you. So this will be the fall, September through December, we will have these ladies, and then they will leave. At least yes. So, or maybe not, we don't know, because they might re-up, but yes, their term is up as of December, so we'll wait to see what we hear from them. But I wish you both a wonderful beginning to your school year, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here over the summer.
Yes.
We know that this is your break, and you do have a lot going on, and it's your free time, so thank you for giving time to the board.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and, I definitely echo everything that she said, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think we probably all
Absolutely.
really appreciate your presence at the meetings, and also, we love the events that you plan, and always want to have an opportunity to sneak in, eat cupcakes and pizza.
Come to the
Thank you
Teen
so
Advisory Board meeting next month.
They have snacks.
Yes, we need to do that. I will put it on my calendar and actually make sure I do have the Engage.
Yes, it should have arrived.
I got it, it's all
Good.
marked up.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. Good luck.
Okay, now we are at item number 10, which is President's Report. And we'll start with A, which is our library board goals. It's on pages 18 through 20.
It is, and I just wanted to give you
Yeah.
just a sneak peek, just so
Yes.
that you could see things kind of falling into place. I have met with all of my managers, they've all touched base with all of their staff, all of goals have been kind of decided and talked about, so you'll start to see this document now grow, over the next few months as people have decided what they're going to be working on for this year, meeting those larger goals that you've set, that were done in June. So just wanted to give you a snapshot.
Looks so pretty, nice and clean.
Easy to read.
Right.
Yeah,
It
very
is.
nice.
Incredible job, Julie, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, and now we are at item number 11 with Melissa Augusta's Treasurer's Report.
Perfect. The treasurer's report will start on page 21. I also wrote out basically what I'll be reading, so that if you can't follow along, and then this will also be in the minutes for future. All right, so budget for Fund 268 for fiscal year 2018-2019. Approved amended budget for Fund 268 calls for revenue of $3,033,030. Lots of threes, that's a good sign.
It's my favorite number.
I know. And expenditures of $3,140,250, consuming $107,220 of the fund balance. Budget for Fund 269 starts on page 25. The last light green column, which is amended. 2018-2019 amended budget calls for revenue of $33,000 and expenditures of $145,700, consuming $112,700 of the fund balance. The revenue and expenditure report for Fund 268. The details start on page 26 and go all the way through 29. But I'm going to be reading on the bottom of page 29. So this is our first month of our new budget. So we have not received our revenue in our budget yet. So that's why the numbers are a little different. Revenue year-to-date ending July 31st, 2018 was $14,762.43. Our expenditures ending July 31st, 2018 were $180,215.33. For Fund 269, which is on page 30, total revenue year-to-date ending July 31st was $428.45. Expenditures for ending July 31st, 2018 were $10,614, not $624. Sorry, I have a typo on my sheet. Any questions about that so far? All right. Balance sheet for Fund 268, which is on page 31. The balance sheet for Fund 268 as of July 31st, 2018 was $1,750,501.31. And on page 2, fund balance for Fund 269 as of July 31st, 2018 is $1,697,242.73. Any questions?
This was very helpful, because I was able to look at it before and go back and it answered some of my questions.
Okay.
And you moved so quickly through it that it really helped find it on the pages. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, absolutely.
I would echo that. It was a nice key to have. And every now and then, you can get stuck on a number and be out of order with what you're saying, but this allowed you to stay on track, so thank you for that.
And even what color the column was that I should be paying attention to.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anyone else have any questions for Treasurer Augusta?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you again. Okay, so we're going to move on to page 2 of our agenda and item 12, Director's Report.
Okay, I'm on page 33. At the top is just some details as to some meetings and things that have gone on since the end of July through just last week. And then at the bottom, these are our employees' anniversary celebrations. These are coming up in September. We have Mary Robinson, who is one of our librarians, 13 years. Dominic Dute is part of our IT department as a technology assistant, and he is 7 years. Yolanda Hockaday Dennis, she is our monitor of our teen space, and she's been with us 3 years. So I thank them for their years of service. On page 34 at the top, some sad news. We did not make the cut for the $25,000 grant that we wrote, and I was hoping that we could put towards the lending library. But as you can see, this was a little bit of information that they sent to me via email. We'll keep trying, because, you know, they make it available every year. So, and I've had a chance to look at the ones that qualified and made it to the next round. So I have a better idea of, you know, what they're looking for and what they approve, and can definitely, since this was my first time, can definitely think about it in a different way for next year. So we will continue to reach out to that one, since we have a good connection in the community.
So this is a State Farm grant?
It was, and we have an agent in town that actually reached out to me to see if we wanted to partner, and he actually has to submit the information and stuff, but met with me in order to see if there was something that he could help bring to the larger company. So
And the focus was
the focus was the lending library.
that we had? But
Yes.
the focus of the grant
There are
is
a number
for-
of them: education, community engagement, community development. So there's like 4 different categories, and I went for education and literacy is what I wrote it under.
Okay.
Yep. Just below that, you can see that the CUSAC state certification for essential level, we made the Novi News, and I mentioned the Catacamos thanking us. Below that, I wanted to give you information about a presentation that I made to the Novi Police Department. Had the opportunity to talk with Chief Malloy and see if I could come out and share, with his staff, all the things that they do for us and what we're doing, in partnership. And it's amazing what we're doing, and I don't think sometimes their staff gets the chance to really see everything that they are a part of with the library. And it gave me a chance also to thank them, for the support that we continually get from the police department and from the fire department. So these are some bullet points, just so you can see how we've interacted with police and fire over the last at least 10 years, that I've been here. And then I gave them a little bit of a did you know about the speed to read, and, encourage them, should they want to get out there and catch anybody that's speeding, should they want to help out the library. No one knew about that on their, on their staff. And it also gave me a chance to stop by the state office for the state troopers and thank them as well, because it's really coming from them, but I wanted our local police department to be aware of it as well. So it was a great learning experience, and I sure enjoyed being with them. I took 2 days, 4 shifts, a 7 a.m., a 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, and then a 7 a.m., 7 p.m. to see another whole shift of officers. Probably close to 100 I had the chance to connect with through those four sessions, and it was great, and well worth the time for,
Is this the first time you've done that?
It is. And
great.
I had gone to a workshop maybe about 6 months ago, and they were talking about ways to engage not only the community, but the teams that you might be interacting with, and that came up in conversation, and I thought, gosh, I talk to Chief Malloy all the time, but I'd love the opportunity, if he didn't mind, to get in front of his staff, and he was great. So it was a great opportunity just to meet with them. Then on page 36, we had Trustee Poupard join me, and I gave a presentation at the school district on August 9th, and this is what they received at the school board was this flyer, and then I highlighted about 6 things from this list, talking about what we've accomplished maybe in the last year or so that's been on our radar. Wonderful, wonderful opportunity to get in front of them and thank them for the great partnerships that we have with the school district. And because of that, we're able to grow, and we've made in the last 6 months some wonderful relationships now with Wall Lake that I can go ahead and take and now try with them. So for lack of a better word, they were guinea pigs, but boy, have they been great to work with, and it's been very successful. So
It was like a love fest.
it was
I
great.
mean, you were so enthusiastic about all of what they
They're
had
so
done to
great to
help
work
you,
with.
and they were just grinning and smiling and engaged.
Well,
so-
and it's been a
It was
couple years
wonderful.
that I've been in front of them,
Yes.
and they do have some new members of their board. So it was a wonderful opportunity to meet some of the new faces, and I have the utmost respect for Superintendent Matthews and what they're doing, and the fact that they literally open their doors to us, they pick up their phones and they answer and respond. It's a great, great partnership with the school district, it really is. So spend some time with them, thanking them, which was a lot of fun. And then page 37, I just wanted you to see the article that was written by Christina Salvatore. This actually ended up, I haven't seen it yet, I'm waiting for it to hit the presses, for a magazine called Hotline, which is read by libraries. So this is going to be 2 libraries across the United States that we put this article in to let them know what we're doing in Michigan and what we're doing with this Enable project. So I wanted you to see that. Then page 38, unfortunately, I gave you the flyer for the business blender and it was canceled due to low attendance. We didn't offer it on Tuesday. We'll look to see if there's some other way that we can engage our business community. The chamber is wonderful. We've got great relationships with them. I don't know if it was just because of timing and maybe the end of the summer that it didn't work. It might be better if we do it in the fall when people kind of have their heads back on for, no vacations and back to work. But just wanted to let you know, they're great to work with and it was just numbers. That's all. Page 39, we are getting ready for our October 2nd Authors Live Luncheon. This is at Fox Run, and we're excited. These are the 3 authors that will be highlighted that day. Just had a great meeting with Fox Run and the YOU group, and they're very excited. There are numbers, I need to let you know, we're almost at 50 just with the library signups. That's not including Fox Run. So this year has gone very quickly when it comes to signups, so it's very popular.
Would encourage any trustees to come to it. It's a very nice event.
Yes, if you're
Very
interested,
nice
let me
event.
know, and then we'll make sure that, your reservation is set. So just reach out to me, okay?
There's a cost of, what is it, $20?
$20, yes, but we've got those funds in order for a trustee to attend.
Thank you, Julie.
Yes, so just let me know that you're going to be there, absolutely. Yep. Page 40, this is our flyer for the Community Reads. We launched it on Thursday, August 9th. That was a very popular day. And this year, it's The Poison City, Flint's Water and the American Urban Tragedy by Anna Clark. She is a Michigan author. Very excited to be bringing something nonfiction, something obviously that's happened in our backyard, has a little controversy to it for sure, and I think will spark definitely some great conversation. It'll be interesting to hear the author's perspective on this whole story and what has happened over the last few years. So we launched it, and there are books available at all of our libraries, and then she will be at the Wixom Library this year. We're giving Wixom the opportunity to host, and that will be on November 9th. It's a Friday evening.
What's the selection process for getting?
We spend months, so, it's at least one person from each library, so there's 6 at least that sit at the selection committee table. There's actually more of us. But we start with what we think we want to do. So for this year, because we had a fiction book last year, we had a male author, then we say, okay, we're ready for nonfiction, we're ready for maybe a female speaker if we can find someone, and then what's out there right now in terms of a topic or something that might be of interest. Anna's book was just released in May, so that was one of the reasons we were interested, because it was new. We've heard about Flint, but because this was new, we were hoping, based on reading it, bringing something and maybe light or even new conversation to what has happened over the last couple of years. But it's hard to give you, Craig, an exact method to it, because I think it's the way the committee feels, after feedback from past experiences and what might be of interest. I do think that our group this year wanted something more talkative, if that gives you just any sense. We were looking for something to have a good conversation about. And in 2019, starting in January, I shared that we're going to start doing some community conversations and partners with our library where we bring on certain topics, for example, race, adoption, things like that. People want to have an opportunity or a forum where they can sit and hear or share or respond to topics. And we started this already a little bit with Dine and Discuss, which Gail Anderson and David Silberman are offering at the library currently, where they take a small topic, they have some food, and then then there's a conversation about something that might come up. And so people are enjoying this kind of forum. So we thought this book would fit with what we're kind of getting ready to put out there this year.
Will the directions on how to get to the Walled Lake, Wixom, Northville, Salem, South Lyon libraries be available, so that there will be a map on our Facebook?
We definitely, I can make a note of that, for sure.
If that's possible?
Yes, absolutely.
At least a location on a map of some sort?
Yes, I can make sure of that.
I think it's interesting, and I like it actually, that you have such a full-bodied offering along with the book. I don't remember
Right.
that in past years, having so many different segments and opportunities to engage with the book.
We try to, but this year was easier based on the topic. So
Okay.
that's why you are seeing it a little more robust.
Yeah.
The library's found some really good topics to tie in.
Yeah.
And that helps, that allows more programming then, and then you bring in the author, so.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you. I think it will be met with some controversy. I'm just because the topic, but I do think it's worth having a conversation about it, and I think the author has done a good job, putting it together.
To know that you're going to have somebody who really kind of comes in, because you hear so much in the news.
Sure.
Who made the decision, who agreed, who didn't check up on it, what really went wrong, how do you test for all of this, and when do we know if it's really secure? There's been just all over the board, so it'll be kind of nice to kind of zero in on some of these pieces of it.
Any other questions? No? Moving on to page 41, this is Barb Rakowski's IT report. As you can see, we've deployed a little bit of technology, and we had some changes with connections from Ethernet to USB on the second floor by our business area. On page 43 is Keith Perfect's facilities report. Don't think there's anything too major. We did have a failed compressor with our HVAC system, and that occurred on almost 2 evenings that we had a failure, but that has been resolved and that has been fixed. Then here is based on the LED, the actual Building and Grounds Committee, we had an LED update back in July. And this is Keith's report so far as to how the project is going. I do believe that the Building and Grounds Committee has been pleased with what's been going on so far. We do have some things, we have come into some issues, which we expected. We've got a couple lights that, when we tested them, they actually worked, but now once we're putting them in, they're not working as well, so we've had to look at some possible options and some changes to that. We're working with the consultant that we've been with, and they've been helping us. On page 45 gives you just the changes, because we had to adjust based on the order of the LED lights coming in. So you can see the project continuing through September right now, just because of that, and I'll keep you updated as to if there's any other changes that come up from there. Page 47 starts April Stevenson's report, which is the Information Services Department and all things programming, adult and youth. If you look at the bottom, our July Raising a Reader, so you can see that there were 840 logs that were received to date. Books read just in that month were 5,700 books.
Wow.
Read in July. I know, it's amazing, these numbers. And then on page 49, at the top, you can see that we are pushing the Great American Read. So, we've been putting out information about that. That's through PBS. We're not doing any programming specific, but we wanted people to know about it and to be aware. So there's a little bit of information about that. And then below, wanted to let you know that we are part of the National Network of Libraries of Medicine. So there's a little blurb here, just recognizing that, we can offer some free educational and outreach materials for our community based on being a part of this through the American Library Association and through our library connections. We're recognized as being able to provide information. And then we can look too at different medical databases that are good for the common, resident that might be useful to them, MD, things like that they might have access to, and drive them in that direction. We definitely don't wear, any PhDs or anything to give that kind of advice, but we can put them to good resources and point them in the right direction, and that's what we want people to know. Don't go to Google and Yahoo and Wikipedia. Go to your local library, because you will get good resources. On page 50 is Marianne Zermulin's report for support services. She's included June, July, and then also July and August. I want to point out to you on page 52, towards the bottom, I highlighted it in yellow. As you can see, the checkouts in July, 81,000 materials were checked out. That was a high month. Yeah, normally we're averaging 60s. Yes. So.
Why?
Over
Do-
2,000 or 3,000 items, it's over 2,000 items a day.
So any clue as to why?
Summer reading has been absolutely crazy this summer. It's been super busy. And I think the length of the program and you know, and we don't have limits. We let people check out,
Yeah.
which they should. Why should they be on the shelf? But we have really had just really good, usage. Amazing. People are not reading, that's for sure. Page 53 starts the statistics.
Julie, can
and-
I ask you a really quick
Oh, yeah,
question? Sorry,
absolutely.
going back to that.
Sure.
First of all, that's amazing, and I feel like we should clap. Can we do that? Second, can we have like a goal if we ever hit 100,000 to do something special?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
If we hit that, I promise we will do, yes. And the newspaper will know and everybody else in this community will know. Yes, I would love it, absolutely,
Okay.
yes. But that is one of our highest, that 81.
That
and
is
I was-
high.
My goodness, I was excited, so, yep. Whoever said libraries are dinosaurs, nope. So page 53 starts our new statistics, so you can just see what's going on in terms of read boxes and borrowing and loaning out, and the Novi Schools card registration, you know, that's a new line we added so that we could track
that's right.
the school district actually providing library cards. If a new family comes into the district, they're helping us by getting that card in hand right at the district instead of them having to make a trip to the library. So absolutely love that. That started in March. And then we have our circulation, as you can see, and how it's broken down. Page 55, that goes into our library usage, so who's visiting us. And you can see that compared July of last year to July of this year, we were 44,000 to 49,000 of just people walking through the lobby. So even that number's up. Yep, so great numbers. Page 56, that's computer logins, and you can see those are up as well from a year ago. And then our early literacy usage, that's up too. So we're starting off really well for the first month of the new year. And then on page 58 is technology and training. You can see what's going on in terms of patrons and usage. Then we have going on to page 59, Hoopla is our new downloadables. RB Digital, also the same, and Linda is the new software online where you can take courses online. So instead of, it was called, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain break. Sorry, can't remember the old one, but we have found that this one is much more robust.
What's this one again?
Lynda.com. A lot of businesses are familiar with this type of training online, and so we were excited to be offering it. Still very good in terms of pricing for the library to be able to purchase it and then make it available to our patrons free of charge. And you can see the views and usage. I think because people know of this product more, I think we're going to see more usage of it as well.
Was it Thompson Gale?
No, well, it's through Gale, but that's the
It was like
company.
Gale something, like Gale dash something. I don't remember either, but I remember the Gale part.
I'm sorry, but I
We tried to help.
cannot remember it. I'm forgetting it because I want to move on, so.
Okay.
Yes. At the bottom, here's our overdrive, so this is, our downloadables as well through our consortium and what we've purchased on our own. And then meeting room rentals, we are up compared to a year ago at this time. And if you noticed, our app is back up and running, so our statistics should get better as well. We'll see our app users back and engaged. Page 62 is the article that was in the Novi News about the Friends Library making their donation for this year. It was over $25,000 that was given to the library for lots of different programs, events, technology that we will be engaging in this year for 18-19. And then on page 63 is your calendar of events, so that are coming up. You received an email from me already talking about budget time, so it's hard to believe, but January and February, I put those dates already on the calendar for you. And then I'm trying to engage with a few of our committees to get going on some work that we have to do this year. I've reached out to the bylaw committee, and strategic planning is moving along, so we're doing well with that. Any questions that I can answer for you?
Yeah,
Yes,
the penal fines.
yes.
It indicates that we received $112,000 last year. it
Yep.
says. Did we get any this year? Is that
We,
still?
hold on one sec, let me double check. It might not have shown yet. It's not come through yet. And it usually comes in July, August, so it should be coming.
So we don't know how
We-
much, or
We don't. I received an email, it is higher than that, but I don't have the exact figure. So we're doing better, yes.
and then my other question had to do with the interviews.
Yes.
Support services interviews for a full-time outreach supervisor. Were those external candidates, internal?
We had a mix, but we did hire internally, yes. It was a great opportunity for one of our part-time staff to move into the full-time role. And this person will be working with Lending Library, outreach, all the changes that we're doing, outside the building when it comes to getting materials to different locations. She's going to help and assist with training. She's going to be working with our pages. So we've tweaked it a little bit so that we can help, with other things and other tasks that we've got going on. But she'll be working with us on Lending Library.
Will we be doing anything at the library for November 11th on Veterans Day?
I would have to check to see, normally we follow the city with their event. And
I know they
yes.
do a luncheon,
Right,
but can we look at doing something?
yes, absolutely. Let me make a note and see what we can do.
Do we even have displays of some kind?
I can look into,
Displays for sure would be something that we could
Yes.
just do.
At least a recognition,
Yes.
if
Right.
nothing else.
Okay. Absolutely. I just always, because the city does it, I know we tend to see the same people, and I didn't want to take away from their event that's been going for years, but I'm happy to look into something. Yes. Yep.
We don't have to do something. We
Or
can
even just a
be-
recognition.
We can just be something. you
Yes.
know.
Something that I always think is nice is when we do book displays too, to acknowledge a certain time.
Sure.
So that might be a nice way to acknowledge veterans as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. Nope, I appreciate the feedback.
Based on that too, we had a presentation from Alex Bilek, Vietnam veteran, asking to have a program once a month. Now, how will that be assessed? Can anyone just kind of walk in off the street?
We have
and,
we have a
ask-
programming process. So,
all right,
yes.
I would hope so.
Yes, so I'll talk to Mr. Bilek. He needs to fill out, we have a programming form so that he can give a really good synopsis of what his program would be, his background, so that we understand that, and then we'll go from there. And we're already planning for winter programming at this point. Fall has been already put together because obviously you saw Engage, and that's our deadline, is to try and make sure we get things in. So, because that is our best avenue for marketing. I have found that if we miss something in Engage, we really do miss out on a number of people. Perfect example is the Authors Luncheon Live. Last year, we didn't have those authors firmed up yet, and it didn't make Engage, and the numbers were lower. Knowing that it went into Engage, the numbers are crazy already for the day of registration, and it's already happening. So it has become a major source of information for marketing of the library programming. Yeah, but I'll be happy to reach out to him. We've met, and I offered an opportunity to sit down with Mr. Bilek based on a program he provided to the teens in our teen space. So he has already done some programming with the library, and I wanted an opportunity to give him some feedback, and he declined meeting with me. So I'll find out if he's willing to sit down again.
And then just a reminder, it was nice to have the presentation, but just a reminder for all of us, we don't answer questions or ask questions during the event.
I need a little clarification. I know that we don't answer questions.
It's not a question and answer session, right?
It's not a question and answer, and that we do not respond to questions. It does not say we do not ask clarifying questions.
Sure, absolutely.
And so that's where I'm following city council. City council always asks clarifying questions if they had them.
Right.
But were never expected to respond to a question by a commentator.
Okay.
So I just need to have that clarified, Tara, because I
Maybe
surprised you.
we can.
That's the language that is city council's language, so we follow it specifically, but you are
Yeah.
correct. You can ask of the person that is here, but what they need to understand is if they're coming, they should understand that if they have 5 questions and they want you to answer them that night,
No, we don't.
I think you're being put on the spot, and you might not be prepared for the answer you might want to give.
So maybe we should talk about how we want to do it, because I think it could be a slippery slope. And when I've read this quite a few times, because
Right.
somebody actually told me they were going to come tonight that didn't, but I wanted to make sure I was prepared, because
Right.
I think anybody that comes and comments usually is amazing, and I want to give them that extra acknowledgement, but I also want to stick to what the rules are.
Right.
And to me, this looks pretty clear. So I don't know if we want to talk about this more intently, so we're all on the same page. I think being unified is the best. But also making sure that we're fair to whoever comes in, because we never know what questions might be posed. I mean, sometimes we get very pleasant presentations, sometimes we might get some that may be a little bit more potentially off-putting, or something that we don't want to answer right away. So I just want to make sure whatever we do, and I think it's wise for us to be on the same page. So I don't know if that's something we want to discuss more, or if we want to talk about it here. I'm not sure.
It would be helpful, because in my mind, I was following the fact that we don't respond to questions, but that we can ask questions based on what city council does. And so I would have asked him, had I been allowed to, give me some example of the kinds of programs that you would like to offer. That would have been one of my questions.
And I think that's a fair
So-
question. I do, because you're actually engaging him to talk more about what he's.
Yeah, like he
you
didn't
know.
give us much.
Right, he didn't.
And so that's why I wanted to ask you
Yes.
what you're going to do about
Sure.
it. You know, like, I love veterans, but, you know, veterans also, there's some issues, you know. Groups claim to be veterans, and all of that kind of goes into it, so.
How would we respond if we engaged with him and then he asks us a question? Then,
You wouldn't.
but
You wouldn't.
that's what I'm saying, is
It's a
how do you
slippery slope.
decline the
Yeah.
question?
Right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think and that was my thought
Slippery slope.
process.
Yeah, it's a slippery
So I definitely hear that, and I didn't want to come off as disrespectful or anything of that nature.
You weren't, you didn't.
I think what I'd like, for me personally, and I don't know if anyone else feels that clarification would be good, is for us all to be on the same page with whatever happens. So that we
Absolutely.
never get accused of giving certain people favoritism and certain
Correct.
people not. We can get somebody that comes in here that's, let's just say it, that's potentially been a donor or has been a great person in the community and want to talk with them more.
Right.
But then we might get someone else in here that may be more critical of us.
Right.
And we want to just be above board and above
Neutral.
reproach. That's what I do in my career.
Sure.
So I would bring that over here.
And if we were to engage, from my point of view, it would be for clarification of what they said, as opposed to trying to expand beyond what it was that they said.
Sure. At the same time,
Yes.
someone could say, well, no one asked me for clarification.
I hear you.
I could see
I hear you.
that.
I hear you.
It's
Okay.
tricky, and I'm not opposed to either way. I just want to make sure, I would like it if we could kind of have some kind of, I feel like this has been my guideline.
Sure,
In my head, it
absolutely.
meant, don't ask them don't expect to do a question and answer session. But if we want to finagle that a little bit, I just want to know what it looks like.
Right.
Because I'm sitting here.
Right.
I just think there needs to be a clear ending to it. that
Yes.
Everybody understands, so that they don't think they said something we didn't like and we
Right.
kicked them out.
And I noticed the timer didn't go off.
Oh, he only spoke
and-
for 1
Yeah.
minute.
I know, but in city, I'm just
Oh.
bringing it all in.
We don't
In city
have
council
access to the
meetings, they
timer.
usually have the timer.
We don't have access to it. It's
So
through
is
the
that
clerk.
something, it
Well,
doesn't have to happen, it's just a conversation.
I can
since
find
we
out,
talk about
because
city
we hardly
council.
have anyone. I
I
can
know.
definitely find out if we're going to need that. I think we should, then we can plan for it. If we think we're going to in the future need to have that based on people coming and
Yeah.
giving. The other thing too I want to make clear is I wouldn't want, Mr. Bialik is wonderful. I've been working with him for years, but because he came to the library board, I want to make sure all people are treated fairly in terms of how programming is being looked at for the library. And because he came up and was comfortable to talk to the board, some people might not be, and they send in their program information. But
the other way.
he's comfortable addressing you, that shouldn't have a different way to how programming is chosen through the library either. So that's why I will be reaching out to Mr. Bylick and say, please fill out our programming form, because everyone is asked to do that. And then we will look at what those opportunities are and how it might fit us. And again, like I said, I had asked for Mr. Bylick to sit down with me, and he did not want to have a he, refused my invitation for a conversation a number of months ago. But I'm happy to see
I
that.
like it as a presentation. If you're at a presentation, someone that you don't necessarily have conversation, because then it's, again, you have a procedure in place, and you need to follow your procedures. This is not the board's business to overstep your procedures.
Right, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and if it's something that needs to be met with a committee later, then that would be addressed properly, like we have for the finance, So I think that it should be a presentation, and that if there's any follow-up later, it should be done on a one-on-one basis. Because again, we don't want to change anything that's already in place. We don't want to show any certain, yes,
That
yes.
makes sense.
I
That
think it
makes
should be a
sense.
presentation.
I would like to suggest that, based on a request from the board, ask for is there a process in place to decide on programs that will occur sponsored with the library? And that we were sure that there was, and that would show up in the minutes, that there is a
There is.
process
Right.
for program
Submissions.
submission.
Yep.
And would that be acceptable to the rest of the,
What is the question that you're asking?
the
us?
question
Sure.
I'm asking, that the minutes would reflect this discussion in
Yes.
that there is a procedure
Oh, I think that's great.
in
Yes.
place, so that that's clarified.
Right.
I think that's
That
really
would be
good.
helpful. I think.
Absolutely.
And then there is already a response. Should Mr. Bylick even look at the minutes to follow up, he'll not only
But
get a
it's
call from
on
me, but he
record
understands
if
it
we
on
need it.
record, yes, that we
Yes.
do have a process. Thank you.
Yeah, this is good
Very good.
conversation.
Absolutely.
Just to be prepared. We don't usually get visitors.
No, right.
So it's
But-
good to.
But we welcome them, for sure.
We welcome them, and we want to hear from the community, and we never want anyone to feel shut down or feel like they weren't valued. I do like that he did bring in an extra piece of literature
Yes.
for review for you later,
Yep.
which is also really wise for someone wanting to take it further, but realizing that they are limited. So, this was a good discussion, I think.
Yes, thank you.
So,
Yeah, I think a simple thank you for your presentation, and that's acceptable.
yeah, I would
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Okay, so item 13, committee reports. Policy committee,
We're
we
good.
don't have anything.
Right.
That's me.
Could I make a comment? I remember one of the last policies that we dealt with were the issue of the use of the 3D printer. And we were very clear, we had many discussions about that. We asked our lawyer to look at it, and that we did have a line in there, no gun or gun replicas, or weapon replicas were listed very clearly in our policy. And with all the talk right now that's in the news about gun blueprints, if you would, for 3D printers, our policy is very, very clear.
Right.
And I'm so appreciative.
It's very clear, and there's also a process in place where people actually have to submit first their files. They are reviewed, and if they fall under the opportunity to be printed, they will be. If they go against policy, they will stop at that point through that procedure, and they won't be printed.
But
So-
it's very clear in
It
our
is,
policy.
yes.
No weapon
Correct.
replicas.
Okay. B is HR committee.
Julie responded very promptly to my request for an ad hoc member with our committee, and Marcia Dominic is going to be joining Ramesh and I.
Nice.
And we're planning on getting together probably the end of September, and our plan is to have a new proposed director's evaluation for you shortly after that, so that we can use it for the December mid-year evaluation.
It's a great idea.
Nice. Thank you. C is finance committee.
Nothing at this point. I have done a reach out for some more information about endowment, so we're getting there. Probably by September, we'll be getting back into that swing. So just to let everybody know.
Right, and then D, for events, marketing, fundraising, there's just some outreach opportunities that happened that a lot of us were
Yes.
able to represent, which is awesome. So Melissa was at Pour on the Shore in July. Trustee Papard was at the Novi Community School District, which was mentioned earlier, just amazing. And I got to spend an amazing night with an amazing staff at the recognition dinner. I had a blast, and I did not want to leave. They were amazing. We work with amazing people.
We do, yes. And thank you for being there.
Oh, it was
It really
fun.
says a lot. I know Craig's participated in the past, and it does say a lot for the board members to, to have the opportunity to interact with the staff, so I appreciate your time. I do.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And thank you to the Friends for providing that.
Yes.
The Friends
yes,
do that.
The Friends
That is
do
not
that.
library funds.
Exactly. It is library, right, no library funds. Thank you, Tara.
You're welcome. Above board, above reproach.
Right.
E, Strategic Planning Committee. Trustee Papard.
We're just kind of like gearing on up for a big month in October to really start launching and
Right.
seeking input within the community. We've received such positive, when we were at the Novi Community School Board, they commented on being involved in the strategic planning
they
and
were.
how honored they felt to have been, have had their input sought and had seen it then in action. And so I think that we would like lots of trustees to be involved in all of these. So,
So
thank
you have these 2 dates of October 3rd, which is going to be at the north end at Fire Station 2. We're going to do fire safety and library opportunity. October is fire safety, so it's a great fit. We'll do cider and donuts.
nice.
The fire department will have their Dalmatian character out. They'll have some trucks available for kids to, climb into and interact with the fire department. And then what we'll do is we'll have some staff on site for some fun activities for kids, but also big pads of paper with the specific questions that we're going to be asking about strategic planning and having residents give feedback. So it'll be very interactive the way I want to do it. I want them to not feel like they're coming to a strategic planning meeting, like they got to sit somewhere. It'll be 5 simple questions of them going around to a poster board and us standing there and interacting with them maybe for just a few minutes while they're with their children and just say, hey, can you tell us, based on this question, can you give us some feedback? So we want it to be really, really interactive, but really get some good stuff. I did finalize a meeting today just to let you know that we do have some questions that will go to the citizen survey that we'll be able to use and track through citizen survey along with our strategic planning. I'm waiting on the final draft, and then we'll be able to work and use those.
They accepted,
They did.
if not the wording, at least the intent of the questions.
They did, yes.
That's
And then we're massaging that wording currently, and I'm waiting to see final draft. So I'm excited about that, and the city allowing us to have a few more questions that will go out to the community for this. And then you see, the 4th of October, we've got.
Before you leave
Yes.
that, where is Fire Station 2?
So that address will be on the flyers and stuff, but it is up just east of the lake. So it's on the Lake Drive, just east of,
Is it on 13 Mile?
it's not 13 Mile, because that's where Fox Run is. It's just
Right.
it's on Lake Drive, where Pavilion Shore is. It's
Yeah.
literally just east about 1,000 feet from from
Because there
Pavilion
is
Shore.
there is a fire station up there on 13 Mile near the lake. It's not there, huh?
Well, is that 13 Mile? You're on 13 Mile.
Right, but then when you pass Novi, that's still 13 Mile to the lake. It's still 13 Mile, 25 Mile.
Yes.
Well, on the west side of Novi Road, the Rite Aid, and then you
It's
keep
up.
going, that's still
Right.
13
You still
Mile.
take Novi Road up. You're taking Novi
Oh,
Road up
okay.
to it dead ends to where Pavilion Shore is.
Yes.
And it's to the east of Pavilion Shore.
And you'll get us an address, right?
Yes,
So
I
that'll-
will. Yes.
That'll be good.
Okay.
Okay. So we connected with them to do something up there. I'm going to see if there's another opportunity as well, or try to with a school. I just had a great conversation with one of our schools up there, so hopefully we'll be able to do something. The other thing that we haven't decided on yet, we want to do a business leadership school district breakfast so that we can bring in that group, which would include the Novi School District or their board. We want to do a breakfast one morning, and that date, because of the dates in September got pushed to October, I'm looking for another morning where I can host something like that. So just stay tuned, and I'll let you know when that breakfast might occur, okay?
Okay.
So that'll be like, those are our businesses and everything, people that have sponsored or partnered with us that we want to get involved and get their feedback as well, and get that
Awesome.
perspective.
Really quick,
Yes.
on E as well, we mentioned Engage. I already saw the strategic mention
Yes.
in Engage, so
Yeah.
good job to this
Thank you.
committee for doing that. People are noticing when it's in there.
That is
We
true.
look through that book.
And the address is in Engage.
It
is.
I believe it is, yes.
Oh, is it?
Because I read it today. It is. I did read it today.
Awesome.
You know, we had some feedback sessions like this a couple of years ago.
Right.
And much of it was just compliments, but one important element that came out of it was the left turn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true.
You're right.
Kind of Congestion there, isn't there a better way to get people in and out of there? And that led to the
Yep.
left turn.
It did.
So change happens when you come to the meeting.
You know, and a lot of people don't, there's a lot of things that go on in the library that people don't know.
Yeah.
I think even the LED project,
Right.
people have no idea, and.
They're walking in and they're just like, wow, it's so bright in here.
Okay, moving on to F, Building Landscape Committee.
The one ongoing project we have is the LED project, and we had an update on that earlier.
Yes.
I don't have anything additional to add to that. Bill, I don't know if you have anything else?
No.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work on that. And then G, Bylaw Committee.
That does have
It
it,
was very hard
yes.
to schedule. But we finally agreed to meet on September 17th.
Yes, it's Monday and it'll be at 4 o'clock instead of the date that's mentioned here.
So busy when you retire.
It's like herding cats. I'm like, oh my gosh, how about this date? How about this date? How about this date? No, but thank you. I appreciate your time. So we'll get going on that. And what I'll do is I'll send you both the current bylaws. So that way, or maybe I'll get them to you in physical so that you can look through them ahead of time and then we can meet and have a good discussion.
Okay, and now we are at the point 14, number 14, public comment. In order to hear all citizen comments at a reasonable hour, the library board requests that speakers respect the 5-minute time limit. This is not a question-answer session, therefore library board members will not respond to questions. It is an opportunity to voice your thoughts with the Novi Public Library Board of Trustees. Okay, 15, we do not have any matters for board action tonight. So may I hear a motion for 16 to adjourn? Do I hear a
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:01.
I know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.